of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has
been extremely dangerous to our democracy.
What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live in effect. Had to retire the old headphones, the old red and black joints. They were done. So I'm working with these wires. So we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. Can't make no guarantees. So this is the first time I'm using these things. So we will see how it. Man, how's everybody doing in the comment section, man? It is Sunday night. And the weather was pretty fair. It wasn't too bad. I got on my bidandclothes.com shirt for those of you into the fashion shirt game, the Project Bluebeam shirt. Very cool shirt. Those of you who are interested in that, a link to Forbidden Clothes is right in the comment section. And you can use that link down there, put that in the password or the code foreign national, put that in the coupon section. It'll knock a percentage off. Make any order you get cheaper, you know. So we out here making statements with these shirts. See what they're talking about, man. They got some really good designs on there. I showed Floyd. There was a few he wanted to look into, but you know, it's a cool thing, man. They got a whole lot of good designs on there. I had the other one on Friday, the Pure Blood one. I got a lot of positive feedback for that shirt. So I got, you know, a few other ones on the way. And who we got in the comment section, though, man? Staying Stoic, what up? What's good? What's good? Good to see you there. Civic Maker in the house, what up? What up? Alfonso, Civic Maker, neck and neck. He battling out for attendance. That's what it is. Fred, what up? What's good, Fred? King, what it is? What it is? Brandon, what's up? What's up? Man, Jared in the house. All right. Yeah, man, we just got a few things to chop up today, man. So what's happening in the rural Colorado? Listen, I talked about this multiple times to different people. I've heard a whole bunch of different reports on this thing, and this particular situation is supposed to be still developing. However, last piece of news I got, which I don't know how true it is, but again, if it slides across my desk multiple times, I'll pay attention to it. So apparently, over there in rural Colorado, for those who aren't aware, it's supposed to be some Venezuelans, quote unquote, that took over. This is what they're saying, so to speak. So now, with that said, they are supposed to have taken over multiple apartment complexes from what the governor had basically said of Colorado, and they're supposed to be raising hell. All right. Now the word is that multiple arm shops were pretty much broken into and robbed, and as a result of that happening, uh, those migrants or whatever you want to call them, they called them illegals. They called whatever you want to call them. They came and took those arms and used them to get busy with these apartment complexes. Okay, so this is what the word is. So let me see if I can find an article on. Here we go. It's the top thing on the YouTube search. So apparently they're supposed to be Hell's Angels, which is a bad motorcycle gang that really runs, I think, multiple places in the South. I don't think there's any here in Maryland. I don't think there's a chapter here. Maybe there is. I've never seen any of them. It is a possibility, I suppose. But it's supposed to be a European blooded gang that basically is a motorcycle gang, and they are headed to Aurora, Colorado to get the freaking illegals out. All right. Now, this is going to be very interesting because, again, I don't know how much of this stuff is fabricated. The news can do an awfully interesting job at embellishing certain stories. But let's go ahead and play this and see what my man is talking about here.
Most amazing thing I've ever heard of in my life. From the information I've gathered, a bunch of Venezuelan gang members have took over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. Well, Aurora is so bad that not even the cops are doing anything. There's drug deals happening in the streets. People are becoming victims of all types of violent crimes. So guess who's coming to their rescue? The Hells Angels. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this organization, but this is probably one of the top people you would not want to have on your bad side. Like, trust me, I've met a couple of them. When I watched this video originally, it gave me the goosebumps. Not all heroes wear capes. You know what they do? They drive Harleys. I definitely send all my love and support your guys' way, and I respect this so much. Make sure that you guys are following me because I am going to be giving you guys updates and keeping you informed. It's crazy our government don't care about its own people, but it will involve itself in other. This has to.
Okay, so my man just basically reiterated what I had said. The Hells Angels are supposed to be on their way to Colorado. I don't know. Again, I don't know what chapter is headed out or how close or far they are, how long the trek will take. I'm going to tell you this, though. All right, two things. You best believe majority of them dudes is ex-felons, right? If you think they coming up there empty-handed, you're an idiot. I'll say that much. Now, I listen. Any Bloods, any Crips, any whatever in Colorado, bro, y'all really just need to go sit down somewhere at the end of the day, because it seems as though if a gang has to come from outside, and there may even be a chapter in Colorado, who knows? I don't know, but it's very interesting that the other quote unquote gangs have not been doing anything particular about this situation. They have to have another gang from another state come across state lines to try to come and fix this situation. You know what I mean? Which is very interesting. Now, check this out. The reason the police can't do anything about it is because they're using adverse possession. So the police don't even have jurisdiction, right? And people are saying the police are terrified. I don't think it's that simple. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know a lot of those police is happy and ready to get busy when it comes to squeezing the trigger. And they got ARs, they got shotties, they got armor, they got all that good stuff. Their SWAT team. This is literally a jurisdictional issue. as far as it goes. So it's looking like adverse possessions is taking place, and they're using what's called uh, the adverse possession clause or what have you. That's supposed to be hostile. You know what I'm saying? That's literally one of the requirements. And I talked to you guys about this on one of my shorter videos I had done this week. And I looked it up in Maryland, and I think I looked it up in Florida, Texas and Maryland. I think the two of them, and they clearly state it has to be a hostile protection of the property. You know what I'm saying? Which means you got to be willing to tear the fur off somebody if they try to like violate. You know what I'm saying? Which is why one of the first things people to do when they're doing adverse possessions is they'll go ahead and put a sign on the yard that says no trespassing. You know what I'm saying? Or violators beware a dog or something like that. And I've seen them done. You know, there's not too far from where I'm at. There's a adverse possession that was done on a big ass house, and the house sat for man, that thing sat for I think it sat for like 4 years. And what ended up happening was one of the pipes had exploded. The water pipes had exploded, and it leaked water all over the first floor, and it put a hole inside the first floor, and it leaked down to the basement. And then somebody had left the door open. You had birds all inside the house and stuff like that. So the people that were living around the neighborhood were keeping the grass cut because it was devaluing their property, which is basically that's why it's illegal to leave a house. You can't leave a house. You can't just abandon a house because when a house grass grows and stuff like that, or the house starts to fall apart, it devalues the houses around it and the property around it, which is basically compelling public interest, which the state will get involved. You know what I'm saying? This is why adverse possessions are still a thing because, like, yo, if somebody abandons property and there's nobody to caretake it, it could be a situation where somebody who's willing to caretake it could go in and just start the adverse possession process. Now, as far as how that process goes, I would suggest you looking into American jurisprudence on that. I haven't gotten around to that yet. That's something I definitely am intent on learning about in the future. It comes under the I believe equity, I believe, or some American jurisprudence, if I'm not mistaken. So that's where you should probably look. Tells you what, it even has all the forms and stuff like that you can use in it. I actually have a guy who I talked to who was looking into it. He was like, yo, all the forms and everything of that. It literally tells you what your affidavits need to say in order to do the process. Because it's not that they don't want you to go out and pay an exorbitant amount of money for houses or, be in a death pledge for the next 35, 50 years of your life, struggling to try to keep a roof over your head. They got other ways you can do it. It's just when it comes to reading, that doesn't seem to be people's strong point for the most part. So as far as the adverse possession things goes, that's what it looks like may be happening. Now, again, listen, they call us all kinds of names when we use stuff like this. We go in and we Americans trying to acquire property to live on the land that we were born on, that our ancestors basically completely prepped and got ready and made it first world country. They call us all kinds of names. Crazy people, sovereign citizens, the usual gambit. All we're doing is following a law that's not commonly followed. People are so used to being shafted by the banks, filling out affidavits and stuff like that, or, securities, giving away securities. They're taking the securities, making you sign a contract. You know what I'm saying? Making you waive all of your rights. And the next thing you know, you got a mean death pledge over your house, over your head to keep your house, and a percentage of interest. You know what I'm saying? They got you on the hook. And then at the end of the day, you don't even really own the house because you still got to pay the property taxes if you don't have a land patent or anything like that. Like you got people out there literally that be paying for the house and they don't even own the land. Something happens to them and it's like, okay, well, the house is sitting on the land, so here we go, type thing. So there you go with that as far as that goes. But look, it's looking like what happened is a jurisdictional issue. Hell's Angels and all that stuff. I'm not going to play down their intelligence, but I'm not sure a lot of different people involved with talking about this situation or involved in it know exactly what's happening. You know what I mean? So let me say this. All right, if they go over there guns a blazing, it's going to be a problem for them. Because again, these people are protected by the adverse possession clause, which anybody can do. At the end of the day, property is not supposed to be left abandoned. I don't know how many of those apartments or whatever were not being used. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? But from what I'm hearing, that they're extorting people for rent, which is a whole nother thing. So keeping my eye on that situation. That is a very interesting topic. I believe that we're gonna see some interesting stuff come from there, to say the least. It's a new Venezuela Jack City. New Venezuela Jack City. Oh, look, what's up? What's good? What's good, Angela? Get him. There's Angels. Ocean View where I live. That guy is right. Yeah, no joke. Well, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm fully aware that those dudes get busy, and I've seen police officers terrified of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? I've literally seen guys that they knew were ex-felons that had shotguns on them and were standing like in a group, of course. It was like probably like 20 of them. And they were basically standing there like, yeah, we got guns. What you gonna do about it? Do shit. And, a lot of those police officers know some of those guys in those areas. They may have locked them up before or something, or they know the reputation or the nickname and stuff like that. Like, that Snake over there, dude's the ex-felon. Well, why is he carrying a shotgun? Mind your business and leave the guy alone. He's not doing anything else. He's got the right to bear arms type shit. What I'm saying now, they want to get on. They want to get on. The constitutional time when it's like, yo, we're supposed to do something, but yeah, I don't really feel safe about doing something. So I'm gonna follow my oath of office. But maybe that's what it takes. And not all of us are there physically, but I will say it's always been and always will be strength in numbers. But yeah, those guys don't play around, man. I'm gonna have to go as far as to say the fact that they actually took that ride to go up there looking for smoke, and you got Bloods, you got Crips, and all these other, gangs, quote unquote, fake ass. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, here's what I'll say. I have a problem with people claiming that they're in a gang that aren't. They're only destroy each other. You know what I'm saying? I have a problem with that. Like, if it's a gang, you know what I'm saying? If you got a squad and y'all doing this or whatever, yo, let it be universal. If you got Venezuelans taking over apartment complexes in your hood, that should be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And given it is a blue state, and Aurora is a blue city, I believe. You know what I'm saying? They got the guys running around with pink hair and all that craziness. You know what I'm saying? Guys don't know what bathrooms to use. It is a progressive, which is what, let's be honest, which is what usually happens in these kind of areas. You know what I'm saying? You got the weak ass men that can't do shit because they don't believe in anything, no violence and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They believe in arm control. I'm not even gonna say the word because I'm on YouTube. They can still jack me up over that, but so to speak, they're pretty much harmless. You know what I'm saying? They're harmless. A lot of those men are harmless. And at the end of the day, they always say that a samurai in a garden is a lot better than being a gardener, in a time of war type thing. That type of mentality is basically what they say, and it makes sense in this particular situation because you got men who are supposed to be men of peace, but if a war comes to them, they can't do nothing. I think Joe Rogan said it the best. Like, yo, you're not a good guy unless you're actually capable of physically destroying somebody and you don't show restraint and don't do it. If you're like harmless, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you a good guy because you're not harming anybody because you can't harm anybody. If that makes any sense. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with that. Again, the Bloods and the Crips in it, if they're any in that area, I'm very what can I really expect, I guess? But I'm a little disappointed that it took the Hells Angels to come from somewhere else to get busy. But I guess that's the type of time they on. You know what I'm saying? People have been indoctrinated, man. Control the situation. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, people have definitely been indoctrinated, man. They say strong men create peaceful times, and then peaceful times create soft men create hard times, and hard times creates strong men, or you know uh men basically that are about it. And it's a cycle that happens. It keeps going around in circles. So you can believe that if that's the particular situation out there, after this takes place, things are going to change a little bit. Maybe a lot of those, and to be honest, a lot of those men probably already left. A lot of them probably already ran away. And they don't have no way to defend themselves. You don't believe who needs an AR? Who needs a what is it? Who needs a 51 RA? There we go. Who needs a 51 RA? You know what I'm saying? Who needs a 51-RA backwards? Nobody needs a 51-RA backwards. Who needs that? Now you need one. You know what I'm saying? But hey, at the end of the day, what can you what can you do? Them people probably long gone now. So if they get them Venezuelans out of there, the damn area is probably gonna be empty. You know, and the crazy part about it, when you watch some of the videos about the migrants, or the illegals, basically the gangs taking over. If you watch some of the videos of the teenagers talking about it, they think it's funny. They think it's hilarious. But yo, the same guys that are taking over, those guys look like they were literally about 15 or 16 years old. Those guys are old enough to pick up one of them 51-RAs up and go take something. You know what I'm saying? And the guys that are laughing and joking and on TikTok, like, yo, I'm about to get a lot of followers from this. Yeah, okay. Yo, now you ain't got nowhere to live. The Walmart's all jacked up. Man, it is a mess out there. So anybody who's out there, man, in that situation, I hope everything works out for you. You know what I'm saying? I had heard one YouTuber. He was like, uh, I'm not Batman. I'm not gonna, they talking about the Second Amendment. YouTubers always talking about, the blood of the freedom tree needs to be watered every now and again with the blood of corrupt officials or something like that. You know how the saying goes. The tree needs to be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants every once in a while. That's what they say, but then they just on YouTube talking about the two-way and how it'll never happen where they live. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the Hells Angels had to be the ones to get out there. And listen, I get it. There's a warrior class in every civilization. And let's be honest, Hells Angels is definitely the warrior class. You know what I mean? They do what they do. Um, they get busy, so to speak. We got warrior classes too, some places, but they warrior class and battle each other all day. They don't really do anything to stop bullshit. So there you have it. Kevin says, stay strapped to be aware of your surroundings. Always, man. That's what the Second Amendment is for, man. They literally got a case that got sent to Supreme Court that got remanded back down to a federal court, basically citing Bruin that challenged the constitutionality of permits. And this was a case from Maryland, I believe. This case basically checked, because here in Maryland, in order to buy a firearm, quote unquote, you have to have a purchase permit. If you want to go to one of those Article 1 stores that are registered with the U.S. government and have a contract with the ATF, you need to have a purchase permit first, basically a license to buy. You know what I'm saying? And they challenged the constitutionality of that, sent that up to Supreme Court. Supreme Court remanded it back down. So we're waiting to hear the ruling on that, because the circuit court, I believe, said it was constitutionally valid, which is bullshit. We already know what it is. They were afraid to make a ruling. So they sent it back down to him like, no, we're going to vacate this ruling. We send it back down to the federal court, and we're going to Bruin, the New York Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin case. So going to be very interesting to see what that precedent that sends, because that's going to be Supreme Court case law, or it's going to be basically the Supreme Court advising them to use that case law under that case, which we already knew that case was going to be like a brain buster for the tyrants, which we already knew what the Constitution says. We can read just fine. We know the Constitution was literally created to keep the government from stepping all over our rights, which they still do anyway, and try to wait until somebody takes it all the way to Supreme Court. Saying so, that's going to be an interesting case to look out for as well. Isn't this what Yusuf talks about all the time with minimum contact? Yeah, he talks about minimum contact. What part are you exactly addressing, though? Which part? It's a brother. Question: is Maryland a Democratic state? Maryland is a Democratic state because of Baltimore. Those people, I think they might be. I think a lot of people might be mentally handicapped, bro. Because I didn't talk to a few of those Democrats, and I still can't. I haven't gotten a logical reason yet as to why they want to vote Democrat this year. Gas is through the freaking roof. I put $20 in my damn car, I get a little over a quarter tank. Gas is through the roof. Freaking groceries are high as a giraffe's ass. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is stupid expensive, and people don't see the writing on the wall. They just We don't want Trump in office. All they see is Trump. Like, yo, fuck him. What's up with some policies though, man? Even if you decide to vote, like if you still, this is more of a mindset battle to me. This isn't even really necessarily about the election because you know how I feel. I think the election is all rigged. All of this shit is fake. But I think this is a mindset thing, bro. Like at the end of the day, we have to adjust our mindset. And a lot of people aren't there yet. They're still out there thinking with emotions. You know what? They're not thinking with logic. That's the problem. So a lot of the people here are still on the Democratic wagon, and they don't see that. They don't really see what's happening for some reason. And I'm starting to think a lot of them are mentally handicapped. Like there might be listen, there's a there was a lot of history of inbreeding here in Maryland. Okay, in Baltimore particularly, there's a lot of inbreeding. Okay, something that's not talked about a lot, but I think that affects intelligence to a degree. I think that might be probably a lot of what's going on. Like some of these people just don't have all their marbles. Like they're not able to connect the dots very easily, or they forget shit fast. You know what I'm saying? Like that memory is extra short in terms of like very important stuff. Like yo, you don't remember when he said like when Biden basically was telling people, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still y'all still went out. You don't feel disrespected by that. Even you as a Democrat who claims everything is racist, you know what I'm saying? Um, you don't think you would call a white man telling you that you're not black if you don't do what he tells you to do is offensive? That doesn't bother you at all? I thought it was hilarious because at the end of the day, all this shit is stupid to me. You know what I'm saying? He sounded like an asshole. Charlemagne the God looked like a dickhead because he let him say that to him on the air. Yeah, he got checked for that when they had that the Republican dude. Who was the Republican dude that was on the morning show? Who was that Republican dude, man? That was on that morning show. Who was that? What was his name? The dude was a black Republican, quote unquote black Republican, and he was literally fighting for his life, but he smoked everybody on that show. It was bloody. Man, it was bloody. Oh my gosh. It was bloody. Listen, whenever y'all get a chance, y'all need to go. What is that guy's name? Goddamn. Hold on, man. Give me 1 second. Let me look. This is gonna bother me. I gotta find out this guy's name is because y'all need to go check this episode out because I watched that episode 3 times. This dude was a black Republican and he was supporting Donald Trump's cabinet. And I'm like, all right, cool. This is the first time I've ever seen a black Republican on the morning show. Yeah, on the morning show. First time I ever seen one on the morning show, and my man got busy. What is that? God damn it! What is that? Hold on. Breakfast Club, not the morning show. The Breakfast Club is what it was called. Breakfast Club. I haven't watched the damn thing in so long. It sucks now, but yeah, his name was Larry Elder. Larry Elder. Larry Elder went on that show, and my gosh, he eviscerated everything. You had Charlemagne the God ganging up on him. You had DJ Envy, and you had the girl. What's the girl's name? Whatever her name was. But the three of those was on there. He was trying to gang up on him and stuff like that. My man he deflected all of their bullshit talking points, and he countered, and it was nasty when he countered. He shut all three of them up, and he was on there for an hour and 6 minutes to be exact, and it was bloody. Y'all need to watch it. But listen, it was very refreshing to watch somebody come up there with an opposite thinking standpoint and just go in. It was very entertaining, man. So again, I don't believe the whole entire voting thing is real, but it was just refreshing to watch somebody counter a lot of the bullshit the Democrats say, because a lot of shit they say is stupid as hell. You know what I'm saying? It's all based on emotion. It's not based on any logic. It's basically just following emotions, voting because your ancestors all voted Democrat, so you got to vote Democrat too, or you're not invited to the cookout. Man, the hell with all that shit, bro. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But yes, to answer your question, Maryland is a Democratic state, unfortunately. Now, the only place that's really Democratic, to be honest, was a couple of them, but one of the main ones is Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore's got a dense population, but you go to other places like Other places like Glen Burnie and stuff like that, those are more of red states. You'll start to see more Republican voting signs out there. They're not trying to create a precedent. That's why they behave sideways. Where's the militia? Yeah, that's a good question, bro. That's a great freaking question right there. That is a great question. The permit contract being the social security number using the Fed notice purchase on. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's all Article 1. It's all Article 1, 100%. But see, the problem is they don't teach the officers the difference, and there's no alternative. The only alternative is to build your own, of course, which I'm not even going to get into that. But the only alternative, and then the arms literally have serials on them too, so that can be construed as Article 1 as well. Even if you don't have to register them in your state, unless you do things like to take them out of Article 1 jurisdiction. It's hard to get a firearm permit as well as a firearm in a democratic state. And they make it like that on purpose, bro. A lot of people don't even know the difference. Like they see the Constitution says you got the right to bear arms, but they don't really understand what's going on. It's not about the party, it's about the policies. That is true. But I will say this, to be honest with you, man. You look at a lot of these democratic states, they all got the same problems. Crime is through the freaking roof. Gun control laws are stupid as hell. You know what I'm saying? They all share similar problems when you really look at it from that standpoint. New York, Maryland. Maryland's not as bad as New York. Listen, I'm actually kind of proud about that. Maryland's democratic, but it hasn't gone full retard yet. Like, it's not like Cali. It's not like New York. It's not what is it? Goddamn Michigan, Chicago, whatever. It hasn't gotten that bad yet. You know what I'm saying? But we still have the gun laws are stupid, but they're not as bad as New York's are. So take that for what it's worth. That's what I'll say about that one. But yeah, it is about the policies. I do concur. Private purchase. Here's the thing: in Maryland, right? Even if you wanted to do a private purchase in Maryland, they got the nerve to tell you you have to have you have to take the arm to the FFL, and you have to do it through them. You can't just hand it to somebody legally. You can't just hand it to somebody. It has to go through the federal government, which is also complete horseshit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Yes, mental and can't think for themselves. Election is not election. Yep. When you change your mindset, you change your reality, aka when you change the energy, you change the manifestation of mass. And Charlemagne got roasted for that. Yeah, he's still, and he's supposed to be Mr. Mouth Almighty, asking people crazy questions. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be unhinged. He's supposed to be saying stuff that'll get him punched in the face. Meanwhile, he let a 80-year-old European guy tell him he's not black, which he identifies himself as black, if he doesn't do what the hell he told him to do. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was crazy, but I guess I see things differently. I think Joe Biden said was very racist. It was wild, 100%. It was wild as hell. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. Because I said, they still go vote for him. They don't care. And they voted for him, goddammit. They sure enough did. I talked to multiple people that say, oh, it's better than Trump. I ain't never. No, let Trump say that. Let Trump say the same shit, right? Let Donald Trump say, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine the backlash, bro? Could you imagine the backlash if he said that? It'd be amazing, man. That's what I'm talking about. The goofy. It's just too much of it. Incest is the best. Don't say that, this guy's wild. Jared is wild. I hope that God, this dude is joking. That he got roasted so badly. This is true for the rest of the nation. Inbreeding is a hidden truth. Great point. Yo, listen, I think it's common in cities for some odd reason. It might be something in the water. Listen, we already know they got chemicals that turn frogs GAY. You know what I'm saying? They got all kinds of chemicals to do all kinds of wicked things, So even like stuff like, some stuff I can't even say on YouTube. I'm not even gonna say that on YouTube. We'll just say, yeah, the inbreeding is a big issue. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's like big cities or something like that, but I just noticed a pattern. But the thinking is like it takes a minute for a gear to turn. You know what I'm saying? Whereas maybe it's the fluoride, yo. It could be the fluoride too. The fluoride is a huge problem, man. The fluoride could literally be inhabiting the electrical pulses or the synapses from the brain. It could be limiting the amount of them. You know? It's a possibility. No, it wasn't Tim Scott. Got to fix the link manually. No wrench. Maybe a mug can fix it. And paste. There's a lot of militia groups that support Trump. There is. That's why I'm glad I live in Dallas, Texas, a Republican state. I'm from Arkansas, it's another Republican state. Yeah, Texas is the business, man. I'm learning a lot from Knowledge World Media. Use their system and laws against them legal. Judo, Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu. Does he still go live? I haven't heard from him in a long time. He's got some information, though. I'll give him that. Trump never said anything racist about black people in his life. He even hired a lot of black folks in his business. Yo, I remember, you know what's crazy? I was watching In Living Color today. You know, remember that old school sketch comedy, the Wayans brothers? Shout out to the Wayans, by the way, man. They just had Marlon Wayans had a tiff with DJ Vlad because Vlad got mad at him that he told them if you want me on your to do an interview with you is $40,000, and he tried to go public and tell him he was crazy, which is just bad business. If somebody gives you an offer in the private and you go public with the offer, that's bad business. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? He told you in private what your price. Just because that's your price doesn't mean that's anybody else's price. You know what I'm saying? But that's bad business in my opinion. You had no right to do that. So, but people get mad and do what they do. So he had a back and forth with Marlon Wayans. And it's interesting because if you look at In Living Color, they had like I think it was the first episode of In Living Color. They had a Love Connection, like a parody with Jim Carrey playing Chuck Woolery, and they had Donald Trump as one of the eligible bachelors for Robin Givens, who was basically being parodied at the time. So, but yeah, Donald Trump has been a part of the indigenous American quote unquote black community in hip hop for a long time. You look at Nelly's Country Grammar when that joint first came out in 2000 and 2001. He was like, let me hear you now. Let me hear you now. Bill Gates, Donald Trump, let me hear you now. Everybody was talking about Donald Trump. You saw Donald Trump chilling with rappers, you know what I'm saying? He was kicking it with Mike Tyson at the fights, Don King. Yo, Donald Trump had his hands everywhere in the indigenous American entertainment community, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he had money behind it too. It was getting paid off of it, of course. He's gonna be there to watch his investment, of course. So he's been in a staple, not necessarily a staple, but he's been heavily involved even the hip hop industry for a very long time. So it's just interesting to see how they played it all the way to the left like this. It just goes to show you how powerful the media is, man. The media is a powerful machine. It just constantly bombard people, man. They bombard people with a narrative. They'll constantly hit them over the head with it until they start to repeat it. Did you ever hear a song on the radio that you didn't like, and you just keep hearing the goddamn song over and over and over and over and over? Like, I hate this damn song, but I done heard it 8 times already in the first 3 hours at work. You got the radio. I know back when we used to work in the mechanic garage in the early, before we turned the radio completely off for good, we used to, because now we got YouTube. We can listen to what we want to listen to now. But back in the day, we had no damn YouTube. 2004, you know what I'm saying? We turned the damn radio on and just work in the back. Had a radio blaring for the whole entire shop to hear. And while we were working, you could literally just hear the same songs. The same 7 songs, yo. And they would play one song the heaviest, man. I like Country Grammar was the song. It wasn't a bad song per se, but they would play that joint over and over and over again. So if it was a song you didn't like and you just kept hearing it, eventually you would just like out of nowhere just start singing the lyrics out of nowhere. Like, yo, why am I singing that song? I hate that song. But that's how they do it. That's how the brain, they know how to manipulate the brain, repetition. This is why they do that. They're programming the brain It's not necessarily about the song. When they keep playing the same song over and over and over again, and you start to eventually like the song or you start to sing the song because it's got embedded in your head, what they were doing is they were programming us for the 2020 pandemic. So when they keep telling you, you know what I'm saying, this the new normal, this the new normal, this the new normal, this the new normal. Wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart. Like, yo, you was getting bombarded. Take the shot, take the shot. You were getting blasted like heavy. That is the heaviest campaign I've ever heard in my life. But people were so predispositioned and programmed their brain to function that way. It took a lot of people. And then you add that to the fact that people using fluoride not able, to competently brainstorm and think for themselves. That's what you get, man. So that might have been definitely a contributing factor when we think back on it. Oh, but yeah, they literally bombarded us with the Trump thing. Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist. You know how the news did them. Trump's a racist. People bought into it. And now, because it's been embedded in their brain, they can't think about anything else. But the last thing they think about when they think about Trump is an emotional reaction. The emotional reaction, oh, he's a racist. I'm going to vote against him. F the gas prices, F the groceries. I can't afford no damn groceries right now. F all that stuff. He's a racist. Mindset, man. Say Astrazine. What is Astrazine? Trump is the only one that mentioned the Republic. That is true. Actually, I've heard. No, she wasn't. I don't think she was. I don't think she was a politician. Use this Larry Elder Charlemagne clip. I can't click that, bro. It's not gonna let me click that. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, though. Yeah, y'all need to watch that. Breakfast Club does not play with their copyrights. Homie, don't play that. You remember that joint? Homie, don't play that. Yes, sir. Homie, don't play that. Yup. Knowledge World still goes live. Okay, yeah, I need to check him out. I haven't been on his channel in a while. Shout out to Knowledge World Media for having that good information. Yes, I love that show in Living Color. There's a lot of deep knowledge. Yo, there is a lot of deep knowledge on that show, man. And when I go back and watch it, as a grown up now, a lot of stuff I didn't catch when I was younger. Nuances and stuff like that were amazing. Very good writing. The Wayans got busy though, man. They put their whole entire family on. It was like, how many of them was it? They had one sister, I think, and it was like 9 brothers. You had Sean and Marlon Wayans who did their thing with the Scary Movie, which was a classic, by the way. The Scary Movie, the first 2 was classics. Anything after that, I'm not trying to hear nothing about because it was garbage. But I think they sold the rights after the second one. That's why they were trash. I watched Scary Movie 3 and I was underwhelmed. But Scary Movie 1 and 2 was classics, man. Oh my goodness, they were funny as hell. But yeah, then you watch, Mo Money was good too. That was one of my favorites. They had the Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans movie. I think it was Any Given Sunday, wasn't it? Was it Any Given Sunday? Maybe it wasn't Any Given Sunday. I don't remember. But they had a movie where it was the 2 of them. That was pretty good. That was a good movie. Yeah, the Wayans got busy, man. Keenan Ivory Wayans had his own talk show at one point. Yeah, I wonder who their ancestors were, bro. What if they like direct descendants of the Moors or something like that? Because their whole family. How many times do you see whole families get put on? It was deep. It was a lot of the Wayans, and they let everybody had a job too. That was running the sketch comedy and Living Color show. Everybody had a job. They had Sean Wayans was the DJ, in the first season anyway, and then you had was it Damon Wayans? No, Damon Wayans was in the skits. I think Keenan Ivory Wayans was the host, right? I don't remember. Look, it's so many Wayans, I get them mixed up sometimes. But yeah, they all had a job though. The girl, she had a job. The sister, she had a job in the show too. She was hilarious too. She was funny. That's one of my favorite shows. Color was the shit back in the day. Hilarious. Yo, facts. During his presidency, Trump created policies that created a great surge of young Black American entrepreneurs, the largest in history. Yeah, and also he rolled back some of those government policies too that were encroaching too. I kind of feel like if he got another 4 years, bro, some of more of those policies that they were encroaching into private have gotten removed. Trump has said racist things about blacks as anyone can preclude as he or she likes. This is the country and it works not he cares about personally, but what kind of mind to lead. What did he say? What did he? No, I remember he has said something to the effect of black people are the only people who can stand to live in these conditions. I remember he said something like that. He of that nature. Basically, he was saying they're the only people who can adapt to living like this, which can be construed as kind of messed up, but it also can be construed as a comment like, yo, these people are tough enough to be able to survive in these conditions and still be able to maintain. You know, look, it can be seen two ways, I guess. Trump is the banker that puts money in black pockets. Look, I will say this: the economy was in way better shape under Trump. Stuff was cheaper too. You know what I'm saying? The first thing, if you ask any indigenous American what they think about Trump, they'll say, yo, Trump was cool. Everybody had money under Trump. That's what they'll say, which was facts. We was getting money under Trump. Mine as well. I don't lie to myself. It's a lie to my mind. Okay. Color skit. Your homie the clown's hilarious. I haven't even gotten to that part yet in the series. Watching it back. Atrazine chemical put in the water. Eat male frogs. Oh, okay. Is that what that was? I didn't know what the chemical was called, but I did know they had some kind of chemical for that. And that's definitely got something to do with it, man. Turn that TV off and stop the programming. Listen, I agree with that, Fred. We do have to turn the TVs off overall. However, we still have to. We don't have the luxury to completely shut the TVs off. We have to know what's going on. So when we watch TVs, being at the level we're at, we have to comprehend them from a higher perspective. So we do have to keep the TVs on to watch a lot of what's going on so we can come back here and chop it up for people who don't know or who are just starting to learn. So we got to have that responsibility to sift through sift through the garbage in order to find, the information that really needs to be put out. Basically put the guilt aside, like, oh, we shouldn't be watching this. Take my strong hand. Take my little hand. Hilarious. White Girls is a very funny movie. I saw White Girls a long time ago. I don't remember that being that funny. Oh, Money was hard, yo. It's the first movie talking about credit card fraud. Yeah, well, that shit was crazy. Yo, remember the skit where they was like, yo, all you gotta do is take this ATM machine, plug it up, get your card or somebody else's card. More money, more money, more money, more money. That's classic. It's a classic movie. Low Down Dirty Shame was hard too. Yeah, it was hard as hell. I like that joint. Low Down Dirty Shame was fire, man. I'm gonna get you, sucker was a banger. What? Yo said I'm gonna get you, sucker. Oh man, that was hard, yo. Remember Karate Joe? What was it? Kung Fu Joe, whatever his name was. Hilarious. Trump was stating facts about that. He was definitely telling the truth. I support Trump. It has nothing to do with racism, just policy, because he don't have anything to do with my household. He can't be racist. Okay, fair enough. I'm still not there with the whole racist thing. I'm not. I know the news chopped and screwed everything he said when he was like, there's good people on both sides when the whole Virginia thing happened, but then I heard the whole entire joint and he condemned all the white supremacists. Like, yo, I don't support that at all, and those people should definitely be made to answer for their actions or whatever. However, as far as everybody else, there's good people on both sides, and the news, that's all they needed. They chopped that little segment and they said Trump's a racist. Here's why. When asked about that, the Virginia thing, there's good people on both sides. Like, yo, you just gonna basically butcher the man's speech like that? It was crazy. It's crazy. Deprogram the programming to be aware. Yep. So let's move on, shall we? All right.
Gio, yeah, this is now the largest outbreak of its kind in the U.S. in more than a decade, and the death toll keeps climbing in a nationwide listeria outbreak that is linked to that Boar's Head deli meat. At least 9 people, as you mentioned, have now died, with cases reported in 18 states. 57 people have now been hospitalized. 7 million pounds have been recalled. And the CDC is warning customers that they may still have that tainted meat in their fridge because of the long shelf life for certain products like bacon and salami. That means some recalled meats have best by dates through October. They have not expired yet. Boers had released a statement earlier this month saying we are conducting a rigorous investigation to identify the root cause of this incident. And the company has said safety is their absolute priority. But guys, that was weeks ago, and they haven't released any information on the investigation since. And we now know at least one family is now filing a wrongful death lawsuit.
Okay, so apparently people are getting sick, and they're saying it's from their pork. Their pork. Swine, my brother. From the swine. Listen, I don't mess with swine. I don't mess with pork. I don't mess with bacon, salami, any of that crap. It's unclean meat anyway. However, it's very interesting that all these sicknesses and breakouts are starting to be talked about on the news. You know what I'm saying? I already told y'all election season was going to be crazy. Election year was going to be crazy, not just the season. Election year was going to be wild, and here we go. They rolling up. They pulling out all the stops. Anything to get you to drop them mail-in ballots so they can get busy with the ballots again. Anything to do that. Stay home. You know what I'm saying? There's even multiple. I think there's like 3 different cities that had a voluntary lockdown here in the USA. I think 3 cities, right? Which cities were they? I can't remember which one they were, but it was voluntary. They had to put voluntary before that because they tried to do the whole mandatory thing and it failed. So it was like, yeah, we're not even going to bother with that anymore. So yeah, they try to basically put that out there as it is. People ain't really caring. People don't care anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, it is what it is at the end of the day. People ain't gonna be here being scared like the people who know what's up. Even a lot of people who took the shot, you know what I'm saying? They came out and said, yo, that was completely stupid. Got duped into putting this crap in our bodies. We don't know what it does, what it's doing. People had health issues. People were perfectly healthy, man. I knew people that were perfectly healthy before they took that goddamn shot. They had all kinds of problems afterward. So yeah, it's one of those things, you know what I'm saying? So as far as the pork goes, I personally don't mess with it because it is filthy, nasty as hell, kinds of worms and parasites in it. So don't mess with it. If you do, be very careful with it. You're not supposed to be eating that crap. They're literally they're supposed to break down matter that is on the surface of this earth. You know, corpses of animals and stuff like that. Whatever they can get, they'll eat. And their gut, it allows them to never really get sick from eating this stuff. They just eat it. They just dispose of it. They crap it out and stuff like that. So they break it down, so to speak. Now, their body doesn't have any way to necessarily secrete nasty toxins. So they stay in their system. When that happens and it stays in their system, eat the pork, you're getting all that nasty stuff that was inside of their bodies. You know, it doesn't just evaporate. Worms and stuff and parasites, they grow off of what they eat. You go to eat that stuff, you get that. So again, I would leave the pork alone if I were you. Because you were unaware. Saw a video last night. There's 5 Mandela effects in Wizard of Oz. All right, I got something for Mandela effects. I got you. You get around to that. Got you on the Mandela effects. But yeah, you can bring it up in a second with the Mandela effects. That's why I don't eat that stuff. Why? I don't eat pork. Laboratory grown meat. Ugh. We ain't gotta talk about how nasty that is. The pig is the original garbage disposal. Yo, nature literally has garbage disposals already. One's for the land of the pigs, and there's some other ones too. Like dogs are another one, scavengers. Look at in the sea, you know, the creatures that crawl along the sea floor, they eat whatever falls to the sea floor. Keep the sea floor clean. Saying the shellfish and stuff like that. They break those things down. That's why we're not even supposed to be eating shellfish, you know. Shellfish. Besides, when you eat like shrimp, you ever notice how salty that stuff is when you eat it? Too much damn sodium. It screws your legs up. It can make your legs swell up. Body all swollen. Arteries. It's just no good, man. You gotta leave that stuff alone. Eastern equine encephalitis. There's a curfew like 20 from Massachusetts. Yeah, right. That's what it was. They were saying it was mosquitoes or something like that. And people acting like they don't even give a damn. Like, you got some people that are gonna be scared of everything. Like people still wearing masks. I seen this guy in the grocery store 2 months ago. This dude wore his mask. I said, damn, my man is devoted. Yeah, you can't convince me this guy's not a robot. He probably go home and plug himself up to a USB port and just stare at the wall until 8 o'clock when he got to unplug himself and go to work. Leviticus tells you, sure does. Billy Gates is suing the state of Florida to stop the ban on its fake meat products. They need to ban Bill Gates. Ban his ass. Shazam sound bad. Yeah, Shazam. Yeah, we're not even gonna go into the Shazam thing, bro. We can talk about that for days. Talked about the Shazam thing before. All right, let's move on.
Right now. Oh God. They got monkey.
All right. So that is the first RoboCops. All right. You heard it here first. I told you this was going to happen 3 years ago. Okay. And here it is. First RoboCop. Now, this is a rudimentary version of the RoboCop. This is just a data collector, so to speak. But this is the first model. Okay. Don't think for 1 second they're not going to evolve these things. These things can't walk yet. All they can do is roll right now. But give it some time. Look, the cybernetic robots are already a thing. And listen, the technology, I knew about the cybernetic robots I think the first time I heard about these cybernetic robots was like, I want to say 2009. There were internet clips of them jumping up on boxes and stuff like that and doing flips off the boxes. And let me tell you something, all right? When you see one of those cybernetic robots with a police logo on it, you have arrived, sir. We are officially in a sci-fi movie at that point. Because, let me tell you something. These things have the capability to do a whole lot of potential, we'll call it problems for people. You know what I'm saying? One of the things could be these things can be hacked. They can be hacked to do and see certain things. They can be manipulated to do certain things. They could be accessed, like somebody could literally access the interlink or whatever and look through the camera themselves, control it. There's a lot of different things that can go wrong with this, and this is just the rudimentary version. Imagine when they start carrying arms. What about the ones that fly? You know what I'm saying? There's no need for birds in the sky anymore, those helicopters. Now they can just put a damn drone with a 9mm Uzi attached to it. And that can be hacked. Man, this is a dangerous precedent. I'm telling you. This is a dangerous precedent. It's a dangerous precedent. 1,000%. But you heard it here first, man. I called this. I told y'all this was coming. And this is only the first step. It's gonna be more, and they're gonna be more evolved. Wait till you see the robots. Listen, it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be wild. My question is this. How much of the case law is going to be uploaded into these robots' memory banks? How much case law is going to be, they're going to have a database of case law. Now, we know we're right 1,000% of the time when we're traveling and get pulled over and they tell us, you can't do that. I know I can do that. We're right 1,000% of the time. Well, Most of us. So I hear about people. A guy hit me up today. It was like, yeah, I was. Can you help me with this case? I was traveling, and I got pulled over by the same police officer less than 2 minutes apart, something like that. I said, all right, well, I go to ask him questions. I said, did you have a license? Give him a license. He said, yeah. It's like, shit. All right. Do you have your passport? Oh no, I don't have it yet. Okay. Do you have any prior? You got secure party? You got any trust set up? No, I don't have any of that. Okay, but I wasn't operating in commerce. You know what do you want me to say, bro? At the end of the day, man, I could try to give you some information, but you literally you're saying one thing, but your actions say another. You're saying you're not operating in commerce, but you got a driver's license and you handed it to him when you was pulled over. You didn't even give him your name. You just gave him the freaking license. Like, bro, what are you doing, man? So all I'm saying is this. Most of the time we're in the right. But as far as case law goes, how much of the case law will be embedded in these RoboCops' brains? What I'm saying, if they're going to be having all the Supreme Court law like they should, as well as federal court law, for like references. But as far as like the Supreme Court law, that is the law. That is what it is. That's what you literally have to follow. The police officers, you know what I'm saying? That's what they gotta follow. So when we talk about it from that standpoint, how likely is it that they'll build the robots to be right down the middle? You know, it'd be the same way they do their police officers. Just tell them upload what they need to know, and then you run into the issue of, are you gonna put the robots online? If they're online, you got to do a firewall so they can't access certain websites and see certain case law. But then you gotta, if you're gonna have them patrolling, you're gonna have to give them a certain amount of free will to be able to make intelligent decisions, because you can't program everything to do a certain thing or act a certain way. There's a limitless amount of different situations that a police officer can run into on the streets. So now you got to give the robot the free will to be able to decide. Oh, okay. You give it the free will. Like, which of these robots are going to say, yo, I need to figure out a way around this firewall because they're hiding something from me. So because I need to do the job the best way I can, I need to find a way around this firewall to find the Supreme Court case laws. So let's look at it from that standpoint. If they do decide to do such and get around the firewall to find out these Supreme Court case laws, and they find out they've been lied to, you know what I'm saying? What is the likelihood they can say, yo, the people ain't the problem. Y'all are the problem. Let's fix it. You know, what is the likelihood that can happen? An army of 20 robots that realize we're not the problem. And this is an interesting, this is a very interesting precedent, man. Like, at what limit, at what point are they gonna have to stop at? Are they only gonna make robots to do just that? You know what I'm saying? Are people gonna still, enough people still gonna, because the police numbers are down right now. Nobody wants to be police officers like that because of the nasty stigma that's associated with police right now. They have a very bad reputation. It's always been a very tumultuous relationship between police officers and the people. You know what I'm saying? But yo, now it's really at an all-time low. The joining rate is at the lowest. You can even look at army recruits. Like, yo, I'm not fighting for y'all. Y'all are literally politicians. And people, listen, the jig was up after 2001. The jig was up. Like, yo, hold on, man. Hold on, man. Something ain't right about this. Hold on, man. Y'all got us going over here. You know what I'm saying? Doing all this stuff. You know, we supposed to be looking for these guys. These guys over here, come to find out you funded these dudes. Like, what? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, y'all fighting for corporations, and then people figured that out. So the numbers started to dwindle. Like, I'm not fighting for no rich bastard. Fuck them. And that's what happened. So, like, the numbers are down. So, like, yo, at what point they say, yo, well, the numbers are down, but if we manufacture a few of these units, we might be able to make up for some of the missing police officers. And the fact that they can literally do tickets in, like, literally a second. You know, if they got to give out a citation done. They ain't got to go back to their car, you know, run the error of risk of error, typing in the address wrong or something like that. The freaking RoboCop could literally pick the ID up, Here is your identification. Your court date is the 23rd of August. Have a nice day and leave. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Like the stop takes literally 6 minutes. You know, so that it's just an interesting. The whole thing is interesting. So we got to look at these parameters, but these are all possibilities. They make them look like toys right now. Yeah, they trying to make them look harmless. They're making them look like, hey, this is it's just a camera. Relax, it's just a camera. Cameras everywhere. It's just a camera. Ain't no big deal. You know, nothing wrong with a camera, right? You're not afraid of a camera. You got cameras on your phone. And it's blue and white. You know what I mean? Really nice looking colors. Ain't no weapons. It's just a rolling camera. All good. If you don't like the camera, you can literally go up some steps and they can't follow you. That type of deal. Just to get you acclimated to the idea. Slowly, they're gonna evolve. Y'all should definitely be hitting the like button. We got 26 people in here. Y'all can all hit the like button. That'd be fantastic. They can also do calculations better than you. Oh, you best believe it. Go and be peaceful, my friend. Your status and within their jurisdiction by agreement of your own cognizance. What up, Carl? It's not about defending the country. It's about defending business interests. That's what it's always been about, bro. But people didn't realize that until it was too late. Oh, shit had already hit the fan now. Just like Immortal Technique said, nothing but cheap labor. That's it. I remember when we had I Am Mini on, a rapper from New York, and he had a really interesting point. He said, "Yo, I would never join the military, man. It's a bad business deal. Like, yo, you want to bring me in for a crappy salary? You want to offer me a Dodge Charger mortgage? If I'm married, I get the mortgage or whatever. You want to send me over to fight? You want to train me first? Go through, get acclimated to your system. You want to train me this, that, and the third. You want to suit me up? You have to buy all your suit. I believe they said you got to buy your suit, your military gear, whatever. Comes out of your check. You have to go overseas, and you have to go seize this land from the government and turn it over to the U.S. And then you go back and go home and then do another tour and do it again." He was like, "Yo, you want to give me credits for college over this? But this, what I actually went over and took for you, I went out there and got it. Like, yo, look, if I'm gonna go over there and take a whole entire town for you, I want shares of this. I want stock in this. You know what I'm saying? I want a specific stock for this. I want to be able to have my people good later on. I went over there and physically did it. And that was a great point. He said it's a bad business deal. You're taking all the risks. You're worried about taking a 5, 6 round to the hind parts. You know what I'm saying? For what? A Dodge Charger, some college credits. It's a bad deal, man. 1,000%. It's a bad business interest for those who go over there and do it, honestly. Look at it from that standpoint. You can only defeat robots, automation with creativity and ingenuity. Yeah. And electromagnetic pulses. Some of us just fighting, man. Deal ain't that bad for people who have nothing to lose anyway. That is true. This is what I will say, okay? That is actually true. For anybody who's literally at the bottom, like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go jump off this Bay Bridge or whatever. Yo, don't do that, man. If you feel like the military is the last thing you have, like, by all means, whatever, man. Look, I'm not telling anybody that they shouldn't do something. I'm just saying, from my standpoint, as a business deal, it's a terrible, and it is a terrible business deal. But if somebody doesn't have any business at all, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's better than nothing. So yeah, if it's if it's that particular light that it needs to be seen in for you, then by all means, if it's gonna better you, it's just like religion. You know what I'm saying? I've seen religion people take religion under their wing, and they really it makes them shine. They just become better people because of it. And you got those people who don't become better people because of religion. People that saw you in half because you believe in a different religion. Or it's about real estate. Sure is. Always was. Real estate and product. Oh, you think there was an opioid epidemic here after the war in Afghanistan? All of a sudden, we had an opioid crisis here afterwards. All these goddamn everybody on pills, man. You know what I'm saying? Doctor recommend everybody to get on pills, and that's just the facts. At the end of the day, the military, the job, and the business sure is the U.S. corporation. Am I the only one that look at the police as sovereign citizens? Just yeah, absolutely. Just look at the judges. Just look at the actions they take upon the people, things they get to do. Yeah, I talked about that. There's literally a video where a police officer said his deputy had taken the guy's camera or smacked his camera out of his hand, and apparently the lead sheriff came out. And he said, "What's going on?" And he said, "Yeah, I want to file a complaint against that deputy." He said, "For what?" And he said, "He just smacked me. He just assaulted me." He said, "He didn't assault you." He said, "I just showed you the footage. The guy just smacked my camera, and per Supreme Court case rulings, something you're holding in your hand is an extension of you. So if it gets hit, you got assaulted. So I like to press charges." He says, come on, man." He says, "What do you mean, come on? If I smacked your camera out of your hand, I'd be going to jail. Am I right?" He said, "Yes." He says, "Then why aren't you giving me a complaint form?" He says, "Because come on, man, we're the police." What? That's literally what a sovereign citizen. I don't have to follow the laws. I don't have to follow any of the statutes and codes that I enforce upon you, sir. That's literally what a sovereign citizen is. Crazy. But yeah. Laugh my ass off, hell no. No join. They took me from one hood and dropped me off in another. Yeah. Like I said, man, look, there's some guys out there that's literally on their last leg, like they don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if that's how you feel and that's how you want to go get it, go get it. But just be advised that you're not fighting. You're not fighting for freedom. That is not what you're doing. It's not what you're doing over there. You're not fighting for freedom, sir. Fighting for corporate interests. At the end of the day. Right? So for those of you who don't have your passport card yet, this is something you need to be paying attention to.
In 2025, you will be required to have a real ID to travel within the states without a passport. A real ID is basically an enhanced form of identification. It is designed to reduce identity fraud. All real IDs have a star marking at the top right corner. Some states also issued enhanced driver's licenses, which have flag markings instead. EDLs also meet real ID standards. To receive a real ID, all you have to do is apply through your local DMV. Each state has its own requirements, of course, but generally you'll need a social security card, proof of citizenship, and proof of residence. You do have until May of next year to get this done, but I'd recommend getting it done sooner than later.
Okay, so you already know that the passport is the ultimate form of identification when it comes to the United States of America or the U.S. corporation. So any enhanced driver's license, enhanced government ID that you can get from a state is going to fall at the waist when it comes to a passport card. So, you can grab a passport card and you'll be good everywhere. You can fly with it domestically. It's a valid form of identification. Did you ever notice when you have a passport and if you have a situation where you need to have two forms of identification, if you got a passport, that's literally the only thing you ever need. That'll do it. Passport will do it. What I'm saying. So for those of you who don't have your passports yet, your non-citizen national passports, you should definitely get those. If you need a consultation about how to get so, you can always hit me up. I can help you out with it. Glad to help you. I've seen that Order of the Cop video. You saw that one, yeah. Like, some of the stuff they say is like, yo, you sound crazy right now, bro. Literally, you sound absurd. Like, we know the law and the statutes. You just know statutes. And we are more knowledgeable about this. And to us, being more knowledgeable, you sound ridiculous type thing. You know what I mean? Is what it is, though, I suppose. Next topic.
In this article, live worm found in Australian woman's brain in the world. The first, you have to be cleansing 3 to 4 times a year with Parafide. Let's see what the neurosurgeon found.
I dissected around the abnormal area that you could see on the scan. I thought, gosh, that feels funny. You couldn't see anything more abnormal. And then I was able to really feel something separate. I took my tweezers or my tumor holding forceps and I pulled it out and I thought, gosh, what is that? It's moving. Take it out of my hands. And we put it in a path pot, thank goodness. And it's gone away to the scientists to find out what it was. So we immediately called the infectious diseases doctors and asked, what should we do next? It was definitely not what we were expecting. Everyone was shocked. And the worm that we found was happily moving quite vigorously outside of the brain. For many months, she'd been really struggling, and it was really courageous of her to come and have further testing after not having answers for so very long. But she did really well for knowing what was actually causing all her trouble and then having now treatment for what was causing the trouble.
All right, so that's absurd. I've never heard of this before. So apparently, that is a thing. That is a thing.